Conspiracy Comedies Season 1. Conspiracy Comedies.
The year is 1969, and the entirety of the United States of America is glued to their TV screens because they're witnessing the launch of the spacecraft carrying the first Americans to land on the moon! Except no. Well, it did happen, but not exactly. See, according to my Uncle Philip, who's a complete genius, by the way, the moon landing was recorded and televised from a TV studio. Cut! He made this theory based on a few observations. Number 1, the shadows. If the sun were the only light source, then the shadows should have been parallel. Number 2, the fact that the astronauts would have fucking died because of the Earth's radiation field. Number 3, if they really shot it in space, then why is it so fucking dark? In other words, where are the stars? Sparkle, sparkle. And number 4, if there's no air on the moon, then how the fuck is the flag waving? Like, what the fuck?
Houston?
What? How?
We have a problem.
How?
Conspiracy Comedies.
The year is approximately 2550 BC. And in the great city of ancient Egypt, under a great pharaoh's reign, one of the 7 wonders of the world is being built. The Great Pyramids of Giza. Okay, I'll drop the accent. So it's ancient Egypt, and the Egyptian pharaoh... Pharaoh what?
Pharaoh Khufu
decided it would be a great idea to put some triangles in the middle of the desert, just for funsies. And so he did, with the help of a bunch of slaves, of a bunch of regular workers, of a bunch of... aliens? That's right. According to my Uncle Philip, who is a complete genius, by the way, there's just no way those ancient Egyptian soy boy beta males could do the job, and required the help of the more alpha male extraterrestrial beings. But I can confidently say that aliens are the product of pure human imagination, and there's no such thing as extraterrestrial life.
Fuck.
Conspiracy Comedies.
The date is November 22nd, 1963, and President John F. Kennedy is scheduled to take motorcade in the city of Dallas, Texas. Everyone was delighted and excited about these fabulous news. Except for this skinny motherfucker. Except for this young man, Lee Harvey Oswald, who for some reason or another just didn't like the president very much. And so on that fateful day, while everyone was gathered at Dealey Plaza, and eventually JFK made his appearance, Lee took out his rifle and shot President Kennedy. Lee shot the president 3 times, the 3rd shot being fatal. Or did he? Of course he did. But did he work alone? Well, according to my Uncle Philip, who might have a couple of screws loose now that I think about it, Lee might have not worked alone after all. Being more specific, he might have worked with the CIA. Now, why would the CIA want to kill its own president? Well, there's a bunch of different reasons. Maybe it was because of the failed Bay of Pigs invasion. Or maybe it was the 638 failed attempts to kill Fidel Castro. But where does Oswald fit in this? Well, shortly after he got arrested, he himself got shot. Now, was it because the CIA wanted him to keep quiet? Or maybe, the more obvious reason, it's because karma's a bitch. I should never sing that song again. Uncle Philip, this has to be one of the most outlandish theories you've ever told me. You sure you want to talk about it?
Sure as a day lasts 25 hours, my dear nephew.
Actually, it's 24, but you think everyone's gonna believe that?
Boy, there ain't nothing stopping me from telling the truth to the public. Let me handle this just this once.
Alright, if you say so.
Now that's the spirit. Now I ain't letting you down. Conspiracy Theory Comedy. travel back to the 1920s. Prohibition time. Imagine, alcohol is banned. But people are still partying like there's no tomorrow. Bootleggers are making a killing. Literally. So what does the government do? They decide to poison the booze! Yep, you heard that right. The feds thought adding deadly chemicals to the industrial alcohol, which people were repurposing to drink, would stop them. They added methanol and all the other nasty stuff that could make you go blind or even kill you. Suddenly, drink responsibly meant don't die from your damn drink! Now, you might be wondering, did it work? Nah, kinda, but not really. People got scared, but also very sick. It was like trying to stop a jaywalker by putting landmines on the sidewalk.
Alright, so I checked on Google and many sources, and oh my god, it turns out to be true. Wow. I guess Uncle Philip really is a genius after all.
Conspiracy Comedies.
It's the good old 1980s. And apart from disco and some really great movies, something else is making its way to the USA. You see, very nasty things are happening, such as physical and sexual abuse of people, human sacrifice, pornography, and prostitution, SA of children, all in the context of the occult. All this got people very scared. Too scared, in fact, as this caused a mass panic. Because the word occult, next to all those heinous crimes, could only mean one thing.
Satanic ritual abuse.
Oh, for God's sake, Satan! Lucifer, the devil! You scared now? You scared now, you sons of bitch? According to my Uncle Philip, who is a devout Christian, by the way, an underground network of Satanists worked together to kidnap, torture, and abuse children. Some daycare owners even got arrested because of these satanic accusations. Even the news had a whole f***ing special dedicated to Satanism, where so-called specialists would go there and say, I don't know about y'all, but this looks satanic to me! But we can thank the Almighty Lord that these accusations are not true. But unfortunately, the now called Satanic Panic lasted throughout the 90s and exists currently today. So maybe sleep with one eye open tonight.
Conspiracy Comedies.
So we all know about airplanes, right? Those big metal birds that fly around continents and shit. Well, have you ever looked up at the sky and noticed that sometimes there's this little trail of steam that follows them? Every once in a while. Most of us shrug it off and think nothing of it, because it's probably harmless, right? Wrong. That's right. According to my Uncle Philip, who's a complete genius, by the way, those little trails of steam aren't as harmless as they seem. Holy shit, that rhymed. Now you may be asking yourself, how could those little innocent lines in the sky be harmful for us? I mean, look how adorable they are. But don't let that deceive you, because they contain chemicals that are sprayed over the general public by the government. For what, you ask? Well, for such reasons as sterilization, weather control, reduction of life expectancy, and even mind control. In reality, though, the only chemical they contain is called H2O. What? Oh, for God's sakes, water! Water! That water thing. And the so-called chemtrails are actually called contrails, because they're mostly condensated water. So we can still calmly look at those cute little adorable lines in the sky. Unfortunately for most of us, though, this contrail is a Swiftie.
Conspiracy Comedies.
Ah yes, planet Earth, the permanent home of 7.9 billion people, including you and me. Unless you live on Mars, but that's a topic for another day. I don't think anyone can help but marvel at this big, beautiful, round planet that we all live in. And I consider myself lucky to call this place my home. Nah, I'm just messing with you. You know we can't end an episode this early.
Of course, it's common knowledge to many of us that the world we live in is a giant blue sphere. Hell, even my Uncle Philip knows that. But unfortunately, there's people like my cousin Derek that believe quite the contrary. You see, he doesn't believe that the Earth looks like this, but he does think the Earth looks like this.
Why? Just why? Why?
He's part of a select group of people that believe that the Earth is not the round planet that we know, but instead just this boring, flat surface. Hell, according to him, a meteor did not hit the Earth, causing all the dinosaurs to die, which again is a topic for another day. But instead, the meteor just bounced off a corner of the Earth, causing all the dinosaurs to go flying into the big fat fabric of space, never to be seen again. We can obviously tell that this is not true, because if the Earth was indeed flat, then at this point I would have probably fallen off the edge of the Earth or something, but we all know that just won't happen.
Conspiracy Comedies.
The story starts in the 70s, and Elvis Presley had the bee's knees. Till the 1977, he died and went straight on to heaven. Come on! Okay, I'll stop. It's no surprise to us that Elvis Presley has made a big impact in the music world. Hell, they don't call him the king of rock and roll for nothing. And although his unfortunate passing in 1977 left so many fans heartbroken, you can't deny the legacy that this man left behind in the world of music and in pop culture. But I bet you would be surprised to hear that Elvis, the rock and roll legend himself, did not kick the bucket. That's right, he's alive! Okay, maybe not, but according to my Uncle Philip, who knew Elvis since he was a baby, people suspect that Elvis might still be shaking his pelvis to this day. What the f*** did I just say? Let me bring you a couple of examples of why people think this. Exhibit A, his gravestone. If you look closely at it, you can see that his name is spelled Elvis Aaron Presley with 2 A's instead of 1, which many people use as evidence that he might have faked his death. Even though we know Aaron is spelled with 2 A's, not 1, but yeah. Exhibit B. Apparently he has had many sightings of him just walking around. The most famous one, however, being on the set of Home Alone, although it was quickly debunked. Dead or alive, though, we need to thank Elvis for popularizing rock music as we know it today. Now, if you'll excuse me, I had to practice piano with this new piano teacher that my Uncle Philip brought me. What the fuck?
Conspiracy Comedies.
So we all know about birds, right?
Wait, you don't? I thought everyone here had heard.
About the bird.
Yep, that's right. We're talking about the pigeons, peacocks, parrots, seagulls, one bird, two bird, red bird, blue bird, flamingos to tango, duck, cluck, penguins that don't give a fuck, birds that fly, birds that run, birds that go well with a honey bun.
So what do all these magnificent beasts have in common?
Well, they all share the fact that they aren't what you think they are. You see, according to a young man named Peter McIndoe,
Who started spreading the theory in 2017 and has a really badass looking van, birds have a rather sinister secret hiding behind those feathers. Cause they're actually
Secret drones.
so let's dissect a bird for what it truly is.
As you can see here in this diagram, pigeons have cameras in their eyes, a microphone, a speaker, and a wireless antenna that all connect to a CPU inside the bird. And all the information that the bird records goes straight to the government.
And have you ever noticed that birds sometimes tend to rest on power lines?
Well, the CPU in their body is battery operated, and the battery has to be charged somehow. So they use inductive coils that they have on their feet. So the bird isn't resting, it's charging up. So this would make a pretty compelling conspiracy theory if it were, real.
What? Are you yeah, just hold your booing, hold your booing. The reason I'm talking about this is really important, so hold it, patience.
Yes, while this theory may be a hoax, the reason behind it is really important. You see, the reason Peter McIndoe did this whole thing in the first place was to show America how quickly misinformation can spread throughout social media. But personally, I'm still glad that I can still trust my pet parrot Polly to keep my deepest, darkest secrets. Because birds are harmless after all.
Conspiracy Comedies.
The date was August 31st, 1997, and the car was speeding down the Paris highway carrying Diana, Princess of Wales, and Dottie... Who?
Dodi Fayed.
That guy. They were both just chilling in the car, doing nothing, minding their own business. So all's good and well, right? Well, if all went alright, then this video wouldn't even exist. So, although it may seem innocent at first glance, there's a bunch of things you need to take into account. First off, neither Princess Diana or Dottie were wearing their seatbelts at the time. Second, the driver of the car, Henry Paul, was a little drunk. Fucking wasted, my guy. And lastly, the car was fucking speeding down the highway at more than twice the speed limit. So if you add in all those factors, you get a classic recipe for disaster. A bloody disaster. As the car entered the Pont d'Alma underpass, Henry completely lost control of the vehicle and... Diana's car collided with a white Fiat, killing her, Dottie, and Henry. Her death was tragic and avoidable. Or was it? You see, according to my Uncle Philip, who's a complete genius, by the way, Princess Diana's murder was a hit. No, not that kind of hit. Nope. Nope. Yep. Apparently, Princess Diana's murder was an assassination requested by the royal family. People think this because usually royalty die of old age or eating too much fucking rich food. But what makes this theory so special is that people like Mohammed Fayed, the son of Dottie, and Prince Harry believe this to be true. So the lesson here is don't drink and drive, don't speed, and most importantly, always wear your seatbelt!
Conspiracy Comedies. Previously on Conspiracy Comedies.
It's November 22nd, 1963. President Kennedy is about to take a motorcade in the city of Dallas, Texas. Everyone loves him except this guy, Lee Harvey Oswald, who decides to kill the president. Now, according to many people, Oswald didn't work alone. In fact, he might have worked with the CIA, and that's pretty much where we left off. Oh god, I hate recaps. So as I stated on episode... hold up, let me check. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Lee Harvey Oswald killed President Kennedy because he was secretly working for the CIA. But something else that my Uncle Philip, who's a complete genius, told me is that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't work alone, literally. He thinks that Lee Harvey Oswald isn't the sole shooter, and he might have had a little help. Let me explain this with a brand new segment of Let's Meet That Man. Meet the Umbrella Man. He's tall, mysterious, likes to wear black, always has an umbrella on his head, and likes to help kill presidents on his free time. When JFK got assassinated, there was a suspicious-looking man wearing black clothes and an umbrella, even though it wasn't raining. And according to some witnesses, the man raised his umbrella only after JFK had passed by. So was he protecting himself from the sun? Or maybe was he sending out a signal? And basing ourselves off of this image that shows an umbrella that can be used as a gun, and other things people noticed in the Zapruder film, which is the original footage of JFK's assassination that I'm not gonna show here because then my channel would be terminated, just like JFK. Who knows? Maybe the Umbrella Man had a personal hand in JFK's death.
Conspiracy Comedies.
The year is 1903, and in the motherland Russia, some Russian comrades decided to make a book that would change the course of history forever. So you guys know about Russia and their usual shenanigans, right? Well, you gotta admit, some of them can be a bit too much. But one day in 1903, some people decided to make a hoaxed book called Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zelda. I meant Zion. Inside, the book says some nasty things about the Jewish community. You know what? It's better if I show you. I swear Uncle Philip had a copy of the book somewhere. Huh. Well, now that I can't show you, might as well just tell you. Now keep in mind, this is a hoaxed book, okay? It comes into play later. The book wanted to reveal a Jewish conspiracy to take over the world. Let me explain. It basically describes how Christians' morality, health, and finances would be targeted by a small group of very powerful Jews, which is all sorts of f***ed up. But get this! In 1920, Henry Ford, yes, that Henry Ford, paid to have 500,000 copies of the book printed out and published. And in 1930, the Nazis used the book as a justification for all the genocides they did against the Jews. Even fucking Adolf Hitler quoted it in his own book. And even though the book was discredited as a hoax, it's still being published and sold to this day. I'll end this video by saying, don't fuel the fire. No matter what religion people believe in, they still are deserving of love and respect. So tell your friends, family, loved ones that you love them, no matter what. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll get some marshmallows for the bonfire.
Conspiracy Comedies.
The year was 2020, and it was a pretty year to live in, especially in good old America. George Floyd and the BLM riots, Joe Biden becoming president, and who could forget the COVID-19 pandemic? Social distancing, online school, like I said, a time to live. But 2020 also gave way to a little something called the 5th Generation Wireless Network, otherwise known as... That's right, the very thing you're using to watch this video on your phones, or tablets, or computer, you know what I mean. But what ties these two things together? One thing being beneficial to society, while the other one being the complete opposite. It all takes one word, people. Vaccine. I know, it's crazy, but hear me out for a second. According to my Uncle Philip, who got the COVID shot last month, people believe that electromagnetic frequencies from cell phone towers weaken the immune system, causing people to get infected with COVID. But the vaccine can make it worse, apparently, because it can inject a chip in your bloodstream that can be used to track down your every move. Not sure how that works exactly, but okay. It gets worse though. Oh, son of a bitch. It gets worse though, because it can be tracked down by the government or Bill Gates. What? Are you fucking kidding?